Welcome to Sisters for Financial Independence. Today, we are diving into the world of bare bones budgeting. If you have ever looked at your bank account and worried that you were not going to make it to the end of the month, or if you are finally tired of seeing all of your credit card bills, then this video is for you. The bare bones budget is far from glamorous, but it is a powerful tool to help you get in control of your money. So what exactly is a bare bones budget? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a stripped down version of your normal budget where you're only spending on your essential. Essential in this case will mean anything you need to survive and stay healthy, like food, paying for housing, rent, a mortgage, your utilities, some basic hygiene, insurance as it reduces the risk, as well as your prescriptions. Anything that's a luxury, anything that's a want will have to go. Unfortunately, things like Netflix, gym memberships, takeouts, kids' activities, fancy sparkling water, a new water bottle, drive-through, and so much more are going to count as non-essentials, and they will have no place in your bare bones budget. And this is all about cutting back, but it is a temporary period in your life, and it's very possible. I know it already sounds harsh, but if we truly want to get out of our current financial situation, we have to be drastic with our choices today. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. Here's a challenge with going on a bare bones budget. We live in a very capitalistic society where marketing and advertising are constantly pushing products and lifestyle at us. It can be hard to say no to a lot of things. If you want something because of an advertisement or because some influencer mentioned it to you, that likely will be a non-essential and you cannot be buying those things anymore. And one of the big things you will have to do when you go on a bare bones budget is to figure out how to curb your social media consumption. Social media has a very big influence on what we buy, whether it's big influencers or even family members sharing their life with us. We need to be careful with what we consume because it's easy to get influenced by those things. So when would you use a bare bones budget? There's going to be specific scenarios when a bare bones budget would work. Here are a few of them. The first one is a job loss or reduced income. If you experience a layoff or if you are down to maybe a few shifts, you want to be adjusting your budget immediately. The first step you will need to do is cut back so that the money you have lasts longer. Now, if you have been laid off, you also want to make sure that the money you have lasts longer and you have the time and space to make career decisions that work well for your family and your financial future. Oftentimes, we make rash decisions when we are pressed for time, and sometimes we make bad decisions. So with a bare bones budget, you can get some cushion making the right decision and making the right financial moves for your family instead of rushing to do something. The next common scenario for doing a bare bones budget is if you want to aggressively pay down debt. Now, if you are looking to attack credit card balances, student loans, or other debts, a bare bones budget can help free up cash to put towards your debt. Right now, the average American carries around $10,757 of debt per household, with the average interest rate of around 28.15%. For a debt like this, it means $251 of interest accrues every month. That's money not going to essentials, not going to fun stuff. It's just extra interest being added to your balance. So when you do go on a bare bones budget, you will see where your money is going and how much of it you can use towards finally paying off all of this debt. The third scenario where you might want to go on a bare bones budget is if you have an aggressive savings goal, whether it's rebuilding your savings, getting the emergency fund finally in place, or preparing for the unknown or maybe the known, like the birth of a child. Going on a bare bones budget can help you save money fast. Now, an emergency fund is all about giving yourself some cushion. An emergency fund can give you peace of mind, especially if you have a family. And it can give you the confidence knowing that you are not going to be derailed by something that was not planned for. So putting some money aside in an emergency fund and using the bare bones budget to accelerate your goal faster can get you there that much sooner. And the last scenario is that you might have a major financial goal you want to reach. It could be a dream vacation, it could be paying for college, it could be saving for a home, and you want to reach that goal ASAP. Now, a bare bones budget can help you get there much faster because it focuses your saving and spending so that you can put money aside. When you become more intentional with your money, it's easy to manage it because instead of wondering where it went, you know where it's going to go. Plus, going on vacation feels so much better when you know you have the money for it. You're not coming back from your vacation with a credit card hangover, and that's peace of mind you'll want to start taking on. Let's be real. A bare bones budget isn't going to be easy. It is absolutely going to feel like deprivation because you are cutting all of the fun stuff. You are cutting all of the non-essentials. But the goal and the key word is that this period is temporary. It isn't forever. It is a tool to help you get through a tough time or help you sprint toward a goal. You are basically sacrificing now for something much better down the line. The goal, either to get out of debt or save more or so many other things. The bare bones budget can help you get there. But like any goal, the bare bones budget must have an end date. So set a timeline, whether it's a few weeks, a few months, or when you've reached your dollar amount. Having an end goal can help you track progress and see the big picture ahead. Now, here's a biggie when it comes to a bare bones budget. If you have a family, many of your family members will likely not be on board. But a bare bones budget works best if everybody understands why you're doing it and agrees to pitch in. So you need to have a conversation with your partner and your kids about what the family spending is going to look like within the next month or 2 months. Everyone should be aware that a bare bones budget is in effect and non-essentials are going to be cut from the family budget. I highly encourage that you explain why you're doing it as a family and the end goal you're trying to reach. Children will understand it. Your teens might have a hard time, but they will eventually see the big picture as long as you include them in the process. For a lot of kids and teens, the key when there is a big financial change like this is to make sure you balance honesty and reassurance. You don't want them to feel too worried or deprived, so emphasize that this is a team effort towards a shared goal. You can also make it fun. Set up some family challenges that everyone can contribute to. This might be finding the best yet inexpensive meal for dinner. This might be figuring out fun activities to do for the weekend that are free. Make a list of all of the things you can do together. Get your kids involved so they are part of the journey and the progress, and everyone stays motivated. My favorite resource of all time, if you're going to do the bare bones budget, is the library. The library offers so much more than just books, so I would recommend checking yours out and seeing what kind of resource you can tap into to make the bare bones budget time period a little bit easier on yourself as well as your kids. If you are not aware of all the fun things and the free things and the many resources the library has to offer, I want you to check out this video up here as well as the description where I talk about all of those good things the library has. So before I move on to how you're actually going to build your bare bones budget, I just want to take a minute to talk about this concept called the baseline luxury. We all have a baseline luxury. It's basically all of the things that we have gotten used to. This might be getting our nails done every week. It might be going through drive-through and getting Starbucks coffee every day we go to work. And it could be just dinner out on the weekends. All of this stuff is going to be considered luxury. Now, when you do go on a bare bones budget, you do have to downgrade your lifestyle. And this can be a shock to not only your system, your partner's system, as well as your kids' system. So we need to be prepared for that impact. Let's be clear. No one wants to downgrade. We all have been conditioned to upgrade our phones, our cars, our lifestyles, our homes, our clothes, everything else. So when we go on a bare bones budget, it is going to feel like you are not participating in whatever is happening out there, and you are going to feel deprived, and you are going to feel bored. You might also feel like you're missing out, and this is what you will have to also address as you go through this cycle of your bare bones budget time period. There's going to be a lot of emotions that will come up. Feelings of insecurity, boredom, restlessness, and stress will come out from you and all members of your family because it's hard to see everyone else kind of moving forward and you're taking a step back to assess your finances and do better. After a month or 2 months, you will have made progress with your finances, and that can have a large impact down the line. Here are my top 3 solutions to help you as you downgrade your baseline luxury. Number 1, continue with a downgraded version of a family tradition. So instead of pizza every Friday, you might want just to do pizza at the first Friday of the month. That way you still can gather together, have the treat, but it won't cost as much. You might also want to consider eating in during the weekends, figuring out a meal that everyone can put together, and then head outside for a walk and some ice cream. You would have saved money because instead of eating out for your whole dinner, you're just going for a treat for ice cream. And it still gets you out of the house and gets the family with a treat for them to enjoy. The second thing is institute some social media rules to limit your consumption. Social media has a hold on all of us, parents, adults, kids, and by reducing the amount of content we are exposed to, we are less likely to feel inadequate or insecure about who we are, what we have, what the car we're driving, or the stuff in our home. So consider putting in some social media consumption limits when you are on this bare bones budget. So it's going to go hand in hand. And the last thing I would encourage you to do is once you go on a bare bones budget, because you're not going to be consuming as much stuff, you will not be buying so many things. That means you're not going to be shopping or just browsing online. You're going to have lots of time back in your hands, and you need to replace that time with something. So do stuff, figure out stuff that you can do with your children, with your partner, and make it a habit to consume less, but do more. This might mean doing more hikes with the family, learning a language, cooking together, reading all the books, and so forth. So figure out activities that you can do together that will not result in more consumption. Remember that a bare bones budget isn't forever. It's just a season, and with your family on board, you will not only survive but thrive in the end. Have you ever gone on a bare bones budget? How did it make you feel? How long did you do it? Do you have any advice for someone who is doing it for the first time? Let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate your thoughts and anything you might want to share with each other. All right, now let's talk about how to actually do your bare bones budget. The first thing that you are going to do is write down all of your essentials. List only the absolute necessities. rent, mortgage, utilities, transportation, gas, groceries, prescriptions, insurance, basic hygiene. These are all the things that you and your family need to stay healthy and survive this season. Those are the key words: stay healthy and survive. The second thing that you're going to do is cut out all of the extras. So I want you to go line by line through your expenses. Everything else will need to be cut out. So this means that no subscriptions, no gym memberships, no boxes being delivered to your house, no shopping sprees. Those will be paused for the time being. If you are going to keep a treat line item in your budget, put in a very specific amount and put in a frequency. For example, if you're going to continue taking your kid out for ice cream, then put in a $10 limit and you only do it once a month or twice a month, up to you. But you want to be very specific with those amounts so that not everything gets overextended and out of the budget. When it comes to canceling subscriptions, they are going to be one of the hardest things to do because they have been designed to keep you in that subscription loop. So stay focused on your goals. If they are trying to keep you for another month or two, just cancel it. Get strong and make sure you let them know that if and when the time comes, you will go back to getting that service if it's right for you and your family. The point of the bare bones budget is to put limits on your spending. It is now so easy to spend, swipe, tap, click, all of these things, and it arrives at our door. We want to put some barriers on those so that we are not easily be swayed to spend. The third item you're going to do when you go on your bare bones budget is to consolidate all of your expenses. This means that all of your essentials should go into one card or one debit card. You want to put everything in one place because everything is easy to see and you will likely see how quickly things add up when it comes to your expenses. Once you consolidate everything into one card or one debit card, you'll also see that you might have forgotten certain things as they may have been continued to be charged on another credit card. And this can be your sign that that is likely not an essential and you can cancel that right away. The fourth thing that I want you to do when you go on your bare bones budget is to negotiate on all of your essentials. I want you to revisit your essentials and optimize their costs as much as you can. If you have a rent or mortgage, try to negotiate the rent or figure out if a refinance makes sense. For food, figure out what your family is actually eating. The average American family wastes around $1,200 of food a year. That's half a sandwich, half a salad bag that you didn't get a chance to put out on the table, that's half drunk coffee, snacks that your kids did not eat. All of those things add up. So figure those out so you can also optimize on your food expenses. Next is to negotiate on all of your bills. This means calling up your insurance companies, calling up your utilities or any other bills you might have and see if they have any kind of promotions going on that will allow you to lower your expenses, your fixed essentials. And lastly, it might be time to consider letting go of certain things, especially if they are costing you a whole lot of money each month. For example, a car is an essential, but you might not need a $30,000 car with a $700 a month payment to get to work. It might be that you are going to sell a car, get a cheaper alternative without the monthly payment that still allows you to have a car, still allows you to get to work, but you've reduced now your cost. Hey, you can always upgrade when the time comes when you have the money to do so. And the last thing that I would encourage you to do is, of course, set your goal and track your progress. If you are a visual person, if you have family members joining you in on this journey, put up a tracker sheet so that you guys can see how the family is doing with your goals. Maybe fill it out once a month, once a week, so that you know that you are making progress. It's nice to see the progress being made and it keeps you motivated. And of course, celebrate your wins but do it in a budget-friendly way. Living on a bare bones budget might feel like you're missing out, but the payoff will be huge. Whether it's wiping out debt, building an emergency fund, or hitting all of those other financial goals, the sacrifices you make now will mean a stronger, more secure future for you and your family. That wraps up our video on bare bones budgeting. I do hope you have found this video helpful. If you do, please share it with a friend, give it a like, and of course, add your thoughts and advice in the comments. If you are on the journey to curb your spending, I want you to check out this video, which explains the spending triggers and how we can overcome them. And if you are looking to pay down your credit card debt that much faster, this video can be helpful for you. I will see you in the next video. Bye.